I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're exploring Karen's Spiritual Pilgrim Journey by Karen Rich Franklin. This inspiring memoir takes readers on a pilgrimage to Haifa, Israel, offering profound insights into the Bahá'í Faith and the principles of unity, love, and spiritual growth. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. We ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Karen, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the inspiration to write this book about your spiritual journey.
So I went on the pilgrimage and came experienced all of that, and I came back, and then COVID hit, and I don't know. It was probably maybe a year after I was like, I really want to just write down what my experience was like, what my thoughts were, what my feelings were, what just really what the experience was like. I don't think, most people have gone on a pilgrimage or understood what a pilgrimage really is. And so that was kind of the compelling reason for doing that.
Tell us a little bit about that experience in Haifa as part of the Baha'i pilgrimage experience. Did you feel more connected spiritually? What was it about being there that was so profound for you?
So going on pilgrimage is encouraged by everybody. I just happened to get the admittance to go. Um, for me, it was really just feeling such a profound love of of a spiritualness, for lack of a better term, spirituality, and having being able to put into context most of the books that I read, most of the experiences that we had with other Baha'is who have gone there and served and come back. And um, so being there, not having any idea of what it was going to be like. I had no expectations. I just was open and just allowed the experience to just unfold as it did.
Tell us how it deepened your understanding of the Baha'i faith.
One of the things that they ask of a Baha'i before they go is to read certain books, just to kind of understand the historical significance and the backdrop. Um, Having read some materials, having talked to Baha'is that have served there, several different Baha'is that have served there, um, and understanding once we were there that there was historical documentation, it just was it kind of cemented exactly my conviction, in so to speak, of finding the truth and following the truth and staying on that path.
Tell us a little bit about the Baha'i faith's teachings on the oneness of God, religion, and mankind.
So the Baha'i Faith, the main precepts are the oneness of God, the oneness of religion, and the oneness of mankind. We acknowledge all of the religions that have come before, and basically it is a culmination of a progressive revelation from God, and that God never leaves us alone. That we have a covenant with God, and God never leaves us alone. He provides a spiritual teacher and spiritual teachings. And the biggest principle that we have, that's a little bit different than any of the other religions, is unity, and unity and diversity. And we have social teachings, which is what has been brought forth with this particular faith. Social teachings that help us make steps and strides towards unity, which is very different than what has been provided before.
How has your journey influenced your daily life and your spiritual practices?
So I've been a Baha'i for over 30 years. And I look at the religion very differently. Religion is actually a bigger picture, and I see God differently. Um, and so in my daily, for, I only have an American experience. I can't speak for anybody else in another country, but for Americans, we get up, we go to work, we have kids, we get married, whatever.
Right.
And that's our life. Um, but when we really tune into spirituality, what we do in our daily lives becomes a form of worship, a form of service. And so when we can put that into practice, we can say in our daily lives that I am, practicing the teachings of my faith. I am, being courteous. I am being generous. I am showing forth love. And that's something that's also different. And it's not easy because we don't have any paid clergy. So our learning is is personal. It's a personal transformation. So I have to do that for myself. But I can do that within a group setting in spiritual education. And that's phenomenal to do that and get different perspectives and different thoughts, different ideas. But we're following, the teachings and the principles that the Baha'i teachings have.
You share a moment during your pilgrimage that was especially or particularly transformative?
So one of the buildings that we visited was a place where Abdul Baha, who is the center of our covenant, he's actually our exemplar. He was under what's called house arrest, so he was no longer imprisoned for his faith. So he was in this building, this mansion, and it was actually being shared by the governor of Akka. And we went in through the main gate and we sat in one of the rooms that they had set aside and we said prayers. And it was like that with any of the buildings that we went into. And then we went into the courtyard and I immediately froze because I looked across the courtyard and it looked exactly like a picture in a book that I had read about the faith. And I froze because I was like, I wonder if that's the same, um, stairwell. And so I stopped and I asked the guide, I said, is that the same stairwell that Shoghi Effendi ran up and down as a kid, when he was little? And she said, yes, that is.
Oh,
So, that struck me as like, wow, this is incredibly real,
yeah.
incredibly true. And then it was kind of like that the rest of the day's journeys. So,
Amazing. Just a real connection between your faith and reality,
yes.
and seeing it up close and personal like that. What message do you hope readers take away from your book?
Um, I think the bigger picture would be to be open to thinking about religion differently
Hmm.
in a bigger picture kind of way. And on a smaller level, that we as an individual, as a human being, a spiritual being, that we do have the capacity and the capability to help ourselves along that spiritual path. It is incremental, but we can make that decision. We can make that choice. Whatever we are searching for, whether it's this or something else. It's just, this was just very profound for me. And it's very broad in its scope. It's simple, but it's broad. And it has very depth to it. And it has brought a very huge um, understanding to me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I came back with. I finally understand. I have an understanding. And some things that are abstract are really difficult to articulate. So I just tried to do it in very simple language. And I think those are the two things that I would want readers to walk away with the book.
Oh, wonderful. And we appreciate you sharing those experiences with others. It might encourage others to take their own spiritual pilgrimage, or they'll learn from your spiritual pilgrimage. The name of the book is Karen's Spiritual Pilgrim Journey by Karen Rich Franklin. It is an inspiring memoir that takes readers on a pilgrimage to Haifa, Israel, offering profound insights into the Bahá'í Faith and the principles of unity, love, and spiritual growth. It's an amazing book. And like I said, it will help you on your own spiritual journey as well. Karen, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure meeting you, talking
It's
with
a
you.
pleasure meeting you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.